4, 5, and 6-2 up for the Sasquatch here in a scoreless game in the top of the second inning. And for those of you Zap faithful who are wondering, man, 7:23 and we're only in the second inning. Must have been a long first. No, they decided to push the start time back a full hour because of the heat, and we might see some more of that this week. Highs coming out of the weekend, looking at the forecast from Monday through Friday. All 5 days had highs topping out at or above 100 degrees.
Apologies to anyone trying to watch the stream as well. We were having some difficulties, but it should be sorted out now.
Good to know. Sometimes equipment doesn't want to work in this 100-degree heat, too.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of everything here in central South Dakota. We get the highs of the highs and we get the lowest of the lows, but we've had two strong starts from both starting pitchers today as River Walters is back on the bump, and he's facing the dangerous Sam Kwapnoski. Starts him with a fastball up and away for ball one. Chris Dozark behind the plate, letting it be known that he's going to have a tight zone today. Hasn't given the upper part of the zone as Kwapnoski chops this one fouled down the first base side. We'll let you know when that stream is up and going. As River Walters reties the right cleat. 1-1 count, no score here, top of the second inning. Kwapnoski set up as far back in that left-handed batter's box as the chalk will allow. He fouls that one off through the glove of Farwell, and Walters is ahead 1-2. And I think this kind of performance, though only through the first 6 outs of this ball game, is exactly what both coaches want to see. Keep your defense out there for as little time as possible. Get guys back in that dugout. Sure. Feel for those Sasquatch here this afternoon as this one misses on the inside corner to even up the count at 2-2. Those unfamiliar with our Hyde Stadium setup, home plate through the mound out to second, set up north and south as Kwapnoski chops this one to second base. First look for Bowie, backhands, and he's got it sticking in his back pocket as he couldn't pull it out of the webbing. He did throw it over to first, but Kwapnoski was well past the bag. So an infield single for Sam Kwapnoski is how the top of the second starts. Tough play for Bowie to make. He was playing Kwapnoski to pull, and I don't blame him. A power hitter like Sam, you got to make sure that you've got that gap covered on the right side of the infield. That one softly chopped towards the middle. And Bowie was able to get over to it, but a fast runner in Kwapnoski was able to leg it out. So the Sasquatch have a runner on, and the first pitch to Crew Muller is inside for ball one. Walters takes a long peek over at Kwapnoski, who's got about a 2-shuffle lead over at first. Off-speed pitch, swung on and missed by Muller. Seen this a couple times. Got the hot pink bat. Breast cancer awareness, while it does get a designated month, is a 12-month cause, as this one is in on the hands. Somehow, Muller was able to chop that one foul. Not sure how he was able to. He had to have quick hands to get through and get to that one. Walters ahead 1-2. And the pitch up and in again, evens up the count. Walters has got one of those setups where he shows the hitter both fours on the back of his jersey. Doesn't work out of the windup, runners on or not, always out of the stretch. 2-2, up and in, ball three. Breeze continuing to blow as the fans are surely enjoying that. 3-2, swung on and missed for strike three. Great off-speed pitch, pulled the string on a changeup, did River Walters, and that'll be the first out of the inning. And it's only the top of the second, but that felt like a big strikeout. You get Sam Kwapnoski on with a softly hit single that was kept in here on the infield, and if you had walked Mueller there, you would have had 2 on with nobody out. When it certainly didn't feel like the Sasquatch completely earned that. As first pitch to Zach Parro is up and in for ball 1.
Yesterday we gave up a lot of walks.
And want to avoid that here today. That just drags out a game, keeps your defense out on the field. As the 1-0 catches the corner for strike 1.
And when you got a game running late with the late start, problem you get is the bugs.
Yeah, that's one thing we have an abundance of here in South Dakota is the mosquitoes. It's as prevalent as the wind is. Kwapnoski dances at first. This one roped down the third base line and off the third base coach.
Had to jump out of the way.
Yeah, he sure did. Got a little piece of him. I believe that's Phil Demas, the head coach of the Spearfish Sasquatch. Matthew Gonzalez over at first base. Demas did his best to dance out of the way of that one, but it was sharply hit off the back of Parro. This one way up high, snagged out of the air by Farwell. Count evened up at 2 apiece. 6, 7, and 8 for this Sasquatch lineup are all new faces just brought in this past week. Parro, Wyatt, and Houston. This one popped a mile high on the infield. Farwell will lose all of the gear, calling him off as Ludvigsen, and he overran the ball. So that's one that Quinn Ludvigsen wishes he could have back. He came charging in. That one was only a couple steps away from Farwell off to his right. Didn't even get to the on-deck circle. Much more ground to cover for Quinn Ludvigsen. Although usually in theory that's an easier play to make for the first baseman, of course, because the catcher has to throw the mask, get rid of the helmet. Breeze maybe doing a little work on that foul ball. 2-2. As Walters might have a double play. Frazier gloves, tosses to Bowie for 1, on to first for the second. And it wipes away the missed pop fly. So a great play, 6-4-3 double play, gets the Zap out of the inning, ends the threat for the Sasquatch, and we head to the bottom of the second, still scoreless here at Hyde Stadium. So we mentioned the upcoming schedule to finish out the month of July. And we've had a little bit of movement in our theme nights here at Hyde Stadium. Ag Night will be tomorrow evening. We're going to make sure we take care of our friends across the state in the ag business, which is obviously a booming industry. So with the doubleheader tomorrow, it'll be a 4:30 start for game 1, then they'll have a break after that for game 2. Coming up will be Healthcare Workers Appreciation on the 15th. We'll be here for that ball game. Yellowstone Night will be coming up July 20th. You'll be able to support your local sports team on July 21st. Women's Wednesday coming up on the 22nd. And then to round out the end of the season here at Hyde Stadium, Zapper Stars Night. Did you have a good time for Christmas in July? I don't think anybody was brave enough to suit up in a Santa costume with the temps the way they were. But I'm sure there was some Christmas spirit in the building.
I saw one Santa hat, and I saw one Christmas vest, and it was on the same person. But, you know, any Christmas spirit is better than none.
Absolutely. Are you one of the folks that believes that Christmas music can only be played around December, or are you... Because I'll tell you, in my household, Christmas music is appreciated all 12 months out of the year.
My mom says don't start the Christmas music until it's like November. Otherwise, she wants to put the tree up because right after Halloween, the tree goes up.
Love that. So it's not that she doesn't like hearing Christmas music. It's just that she doesn't want to get too excited in, say, October or September.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with her on that one.
We're really big on holidays in my house.
Love to hear that. So I'm guessing that 4th of July was a fun Saturday afternoon at the Mancuso household. Quinn Ludvigsen will lead us off here in the bottom of the second inning as Elke misses high and away for ball 1. 5, 6, and 7 due up. Melton and DiCarlo on deck and in the hole for the Zap. Off-speed pitch falls in for strike one to Ludvigsen. Ludvigsen not having the summer that he had hoped for. This is a guy that has had major production for this organization in the past couple of years. He's yet to leave the yard, still driven in 15 runs as he fouls this one off behind home into that screen. 25 hits on the season, but a 263 average for Ludvigsen is not what he had in mind, but this is a guy that can flip the switch and really do some damage. 1-2 pitch to Quinn. Up high, count even at 2 apiece. Jamie Habiger not exactly having the luxury of going to the bench as he has had throughout the summer, as this one misses outside and runs the count full. The injury bug has bitten the Zap, and you never want injuries, but especially not the way that this ball club has had to handle them. Nobody on, nobody out here. Bottom of the second, 3-2 pitch to Ludvigsen, high and away for ball 4. So that's a good start for the Zap. Leadoff walk as Elijah Wyatt will turn around and have a chat with Chris Dozark, wanting to know where that one missed. Very cordial conversation. But I do enjoy an umpire that's going to force these pitchers to throw strikes and really find the zone. You got two really good offenses that don't need any help from the home plate umpire, so great to have Chris Dozark back there. Runner on first, nobody out here for Mason Melton. First pitch from Elke up and in for ball 1. So Elke's starting to struggle a bit to find the zone. There's no Rosenbag out there on the mound, and on a day like today, you got to imagine there's going to be some sweat and condensation building up on the right and left hands of these pitchers, as this one's roped over the second baseman, down for a base hit. Ludvigsen will round second. He's going to chug for third. Throw coming in from Houston Garrett, gets away from the shortstop, and sliding into second safely is Mason Melton. So there's that aggressive base running that Cortana was talking about, as the Zap now have runners on second and third, nobody out here. Second hit of the ball game belongs to Mason Melton, and now Dom DiCarlo can pick up his 19th and 20th RBI with a base hit. Great swing there from Melton. And it looked like Mason Melton might have thought about staying over at first base, but the throw from Garrett Houston coming in from center field, he was getting a little bit aggressive with it, trying to cut down Quinn Ludvigsen.
And he had that confidence. He knew he could make it if he wanted to.
As we said in the pregame, rarely do you see a single off the bat of a Zap hitter, and they're not thinking two out of the box. Another line drive, this one out to Garrett in center. On a rope, he'll make the catch. Ludvigsen tagging from third. Throw to the plate is not in time as it gets away from Elijah Wyatt. That'll allow Mason to get to third. Tell you what, if Wyatt had been able to glove that, he would have had Quinn Ludvigsen dead to rights. It was a great throw from Garrett Houston out in center, but Wyatt unable to play it on the bounce. And it got away from him, got to the backstop, so Dom DiCarlo drives in the game's first run with a sacrifice fly out to center. And the Zap lead at 1-0 with one out and a runner at third. So that's how you manufacture runs if you're the Oahe Zap. Aggressive base running to get runners to second and third, and then a line drive out into center for the sacrifice fly. Elke's first pitch to Dylan Bowie is up high for ball 1. And I'll tell you what, if the middle and bottom parts of this lineup for the Zap can produce, and that sets up the top of the lineup and some high batting averages for some serious production. This one fouled off the end of the bat by Bowie into the netting in front of the Zap dugout. Bowie is couple points over 200 in his batting average here this summer. He's got a low squat and a wiggling bat in that right-handed batter's box. That one outside. Bowie works himself out in front of the count, 2-1. Outfield is playing Bowie shallow, so if he can put a charge into one and get these guys to back up, it'll certainly score that runner from third. This fastball catches the inside corner for strike two. And we're not going to expose who it is, but the man behind the shot costume did not throw it on today, and I don't blame him. This one outside, runs the count full again. There's not many days throughout the Zap season where I think, you know what, being in the shot costume would be a fun idea today. That includes today. It is blistering hot. Elke comes set with the payoff pitch. This one popped out to right. Sam Kwapnoski taking a couple steps to his left, makes the catch. Mason Melton going to test the arm of Sam Kwapnoski. Throw is on time, and he is out at home. Perfect throw, bang, bang play at the plate. And Elijah Wyatt is able to glove that one and take down Mason Melton, who might be a little bit shaken up. And that's the last thing that Jamie Habiger needs, is another injury. Zap do pick up one in the bottom of the second, but now the focus has gone to Mason Melton, as he is still keeled over back behind home plate. We did mention that injury bug that has struck the Zap, and they've had a couple of those, you know, regularly scheduled injuries, a couple banged up elbows, and some hurt ankles here and there, but the biggest injury has come to Garen Gledhill, who we won't get into any of the specifics, but had to have some pretty crucial medical attention. Was feeling a little bit under the weather, went and got it checked out, and it became a little bit more serious. So Garrett Gledhill is in Sioux Falls getting tended to and with his family, and we can only hope for the best for Garen Gledhill, who was hitting the ball better than anybody, but of course you don't care about the production, you care about the person. We've had Garen Gledhill up in the booth quite a bit, Cortana, this summer. Awesome guy. You never want injuries to happen to anybody, but if there was a worse person to have it happen to, that's Garen Gledhill. Just cream of the crop, just an unbelievable human being, and we just hope for the best for him. As you know, you've gotten to know him well, I've gotten to know him well, and it was kind of one of the heartbeats of this Zap dugout, and a guy that they sorely miss having down there.
Yes, definitely an amazing guy. I just hope that it doesn't affect team morale too much and that they keep up the good work.
Yeah, there's a couple ways that you can go as a team when you're dealing with the amount of injuries like the Oahe Zap are. Good news for the Zap is Mason Melton, though still shaking it off, is back out at the hot corner. But those two ways you can go, you can either hang your head and say, you know what, we lost one of our best hitters, one of our best players, one of our best team guys, a couple other injuries that have kind of run through this Zap team. You can hang your head and kind of hang up the cleats for the summer, or you can say, you know what, we're going to play hard for these guys. We're going to really try to make it happen, and we hope for the latter from the Zap. Back out on the mound is River Walters, and he starts the top of the third inning with a first pitch strike.
Our batter has quite the interesting bat color. It's like a cyan or tealish.
Cyan, never even heard of that color, as Elijah Wyatt swings through that off-speed pitch. So River Walters starts him with a fastball, comes back with the off-speed, and that's a three-pitch strikeout for River Walters as Elijah Wyatt goes down looking on the fastball. 3 pitches for the first out for Walters as he continues to cruise. That'll bring up Garrett Houston, Sasquatch center fielder. Told you this in the last inning. Zach Parro, Elijah Wyatt, and Garrett Houston, the 6, 7, 8 hitters for Spearfish. All new guys replacing some Squatch players that went back to college. Walters' first pitch is just off the plate for ball 1 to Garrett Houston, who's out of Saskatchewan. So Ty Farwell obviously has ties back to Canada, not the only ILB player coming from our neighbors from the north. 1-0, turns 1-1, off-speed pitch, catches the outside corner. Our beer batter will be coming up next in Wilson Kiefer. 1-1 pitch from Walters, chopped down the third baseline, turning foul. Somebody out in the crowd is giving it to Garrett Houston, welcoming him to the ILB. Friendly banter coming from the home crowd. 1-2 pitch from Walters, swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks for River Walters is how the third inning starts. One looking, one swinging. And tell you, those two strikeouts are great, but the hot fans here at Hyde Stadium are really going to want to strike out here, as Wilson Kiefer is today's beer batter. If you're unfamiliar with the beer batter, they give you a nice little discount on beers here at the stadium. And if you can strike him out, River Walters starts him with an off-speed pitch that misses on the outside corner. Walters working quickly. 1-0 is rifled up the middle for a 2-out base hit. Don DeCarlo will go down to a knee. And Wilson Kiefer will have to let the fans wait for another trip throughout the lineup to get that $1 off ice-cold beers here at Hyde. Tell you what, though, that won't stop the fans from getting back up to the concession stand that Carla Miles has revamped this season. It was already good, but, man, now it is fantastic. There's some Chislic being served today. Chislic night was back on June 27th, but they brought in some reinforcements because the fans loved it so much. They were cooking it up, and boy, did it smell good around the Friars this afternoon before first pitch. Speaking of first pitch, the first one to Braden Smith is called for a strike. 1-0 Zap here in the top of the third. This one bounced and backhanded nicely by Farwell to keep Wilson Kiefer over at first base.
I know you haven't been here the last few days, but I've noticed they've been playing the soundboard a lot more.
Have they really?
Yeah, they've played a lot of interesting sounds.
This one up and in for ball 2.
Yesterday, Baz went down to get some food from the concessions, and someone was apparently asking them not to play a song. Someone from the other team was asking them not to play a specific song. Baz was just trying to get back up here.
And so they certainly played that song, right? Swung on and missed for strike 2, as that one's fanned on by Smith. Good fastball there from Walters. Did the sound operators oblige and stay away from that song, or did they play it double time, a couple extras?
I don't believe Baz even told them.
Mind games here at Hyde Stadium. Got to get a leg up on your opponent somehow. Here's the 2-2. This one lifted out towards left center. DeCarlo trots over to his right, and that will retire the side. So a 2-out base hit is all the Sasquatch will get. Zap still leading 1-0 after the top of the third inning. Bats coming up, looking to add on to this lead for the Zap here at home. We'll be back here with the bottom half of the third inning after this break. You're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
Our friends over at Dunes Golf are going to be the host of our marathon day of golf through the Capital City, Boys and Girls Club of the Capital area. Steve Steele putting on the fundraiser for the second year now as we raise money for the Stanley County Golf for Gold program. And I'll tell you what, you don't need a reason to get over to Dunes because it is just so immaculate over there. Diane and Colin do such a great job keeping that place looking sharp as ever. That'll be coming up towards the end of the month of July with Steve Steele. We'll try to get him up in the booth next week to talk more about that. Can't wait to do that with the Boys and Girls Club of the Capital area. So much fun to hang out with Steve Steele, but to get 108 holes of golf in one day with him, well, it's something I wish I could do once a month. As Austin Elke's back out on the bump, he'll face 9-1-2. As Blake Imhoff takes a first pitch fastball in the inside corner for ball one. This one just catches a piece, slipped high and away from up here. But Dozark says it's strike one. Elke working at a breakneck pace. This one catches the inside corner for strike two. Good off-speed pitch from Elke. Elke looking to put away the leadoff hitter. This one's chopped to second base. Routine play for Lopez. Plays it on a tricky hop, but makes it look routine. Fires to first, and Paro gloves the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the top of the lineup, Gavin Frazier. If you're the Oahe Zap Cortana, it's great to have a 1-0 lead, but you want to start hanging crooked numbers against this Sasquatch offense as this one's bounced on the outside corner for ball one. This is a team that can really put up some offensive numbers. We've seen that the last couple of games.
Yep, they've been in the double digits for the last 3 games, so we definitely don't want to let up.
Absolutely. Here's the 1-0 to Frazier. That one falls in for strike one. As Cortana mentioned, a lot of run production over the last 3 for the Sasquatch. They took on Bison baseball. They won 16-6 last Thursday. This one's way high and away for ball two. Wednesday of last week, it was a football score, 17-7. The Sasquatch won that one. Low-scoring affair on the gridiron, but that's a ton of runs on the diamond. And before that, 14-4, so all 10-run victories. This one's bounced 3-1 is the count, and Gavin Frazier, who's, as you know, fleet of foot, would love to draw a 1-out walk, get himself on the base paths, and maybe trying to pick up a bag or two stealing. Here's the 3-1, swung on and missed, and the count runs full. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the response from this Zap Ball Club with the injuries that they've sustained. But mainly with Garen Gledhill as the payoff pitch is sent up the middle. Diving play can't be made by Crew Muller. Just past the outstretched arm of the Sasquatch shortstop. And the Zap shortstop is on with a 3-2 base hit. That'll bring up Manny Ely. But back to the injury. Just can't understate how important Garen Gledhill is to this team, and kind of a shocking turn of events. Glad he's getting the medical care that he needs, but you know, I have to imagine Garen is tuned into the stream right now. He is a fan favorite. The team loves him. The broadcast booth here absolutely loves him. As the first pitch to Ely is off the plate for ball one. And how cool was it to have Garen up here in the booth, coming off of injury, get a pinch hit appearance, drives in a run. Just coming out, he was doing stretches in between innings, but he had his broadcaster mindset in the right place as they check on Frazier. He's back diving safely. He would not stretch or do any warm-ups while we were on the air. He was on the headset, in the chair, locked into the ball game.
Yeah, and then he went down there a few days later and hit a grand slam.
That's right. Manny Ely sends this one out to center. Softly hit. Garrett Houston a couple steps to his right as the second out of the inning. Yeah, he absolutely plastered the ball a couple times, and it came with bases juiced.
I've got another hitter that hits quite a few grand slams as well, quite a few home runs.
Yeah, Ty Farwell here coming up to the plate. As we mentioned, Farwell's left the yard 4 times this season, hitting .287, 33 hits. He's driven in 34. And they got Gavin Frazier leaning towards second. He was taken off for the bag. Elke picked him off, and that'll be out number 3. So it looked like Gavin Frazier was going to try to steal there with 2 outs, but he is picked off, and the 3rd inning comes to an end. Zap still out in front, leading 1-0. We head to the top of the 4th here at Hyde Stadium. We'll be back after this on River 92.7 and streaming live on drgnews.com.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized, goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
At Darren Boyle Sales, I have the bush hog equipment on hand to help you with your spring projects. Right now, I have bush hog mowers on hand in sizes from 6 to 20 feet. Bush hog rear-mounted blades, bush hog tillage equipment including 4 sizes of rear-mounted tillers, and Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers on hand. 3 different models available with prices starting at $49.95. Check out my large selection of farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com.
Good one going here at Hyde Stadium. Zap leading 1-0 as we head to the top of the 4th. Justin Cowan alongside Cortana Mancuso and Scott Colomb back in the studio here on a blustery Monday night. 97 degrees at first pitch. Feels like 101, but as the night rolls on, cooling down nicely here in central South Dakota. And back on the mound is River Walters, who has been as hot as the weather has. 3 innings thus far through his first start of the season. He's thrown 44 strikes to just 27 balls. He has struck out 3, given up just 2 hits, and has yet to walk a hitter. And Walters back out there on the bump. River is looking pretty good in his first start of the summer. Maybe making Jamie Habiger think, why haven't I sent this guy out onto the mound to lead things off more often? Well, he has been a valuable piece out of the bullpen. And his first pitch is roped out to left. 1 pitch, 1 out. As Blake Imhoff squeezes it towards the left field line. And Malachi Lopez is retired. So Jamie Habiger said he wanted to see his pitchers throw strikes, and that's exactly what River Walters is doing today. 1 pitch, 1 out here to start the top of the 4th inning. That was hit well down the left field line, but Imhoff had him played perfectly. So that'll bring up Bo Iandoli, Sasquatch left fielder, hitting .402 on the season. And he takes a fastball for strike 1. Iandoli with 39 hits here this summer. Tell you, River Walters would love to keep him at that total here today. This one bounced in, stopped nicely by Farwell for ball 1. The Sasquatch have hit a ton of home runs this summer. I mean, a ton. 36 long balls for Spearfish here this year. 1 guy hitting under 300, everybody else either at or above 300. Couple guys at 400, including Bo Iandoli, as Walters misses on the inside corner for ball 2. So that alone should be a testament to how sharp River Walters has been in this start here this evening.
It's interesting to
This one's fouled off into Capitol Avenue by Iandoli as he slaps that one the other way.
it's interesting to see what the players are doing to keep cool. We have someone from the Sasquatch dugout with a towel on their head.
Yeah, the Sasquatch are certainly not in the I was about to say not in the best part of the ballpark. They're actually in the worst part of the ballpark on a day like today, and well, that's done with intention. You want your visitors to be basking in the sunlight, as this one misses high and runs the count full. And the shadows that we don't usually start seeing creep across the infield until the 6th or 7th inning are making their way across after the hour delay due to the heat, but nothing like being in the prime time slot when you got two teams like this playing. River Walters delivers his first walk of the ball game as this one misses high and away. So Bo Iandoli, a stolen base candidate, will head down to first. That'll bring up Sam Kwapnoski. And if you're the Zap, you know, River has been outstanding in this start, but you have to imagine that at some point the Sasquatch are going to put some runs on the board. So it's been good to see the Zap putting some hits together. 3 hits, 1 run for the home team here today. Just 2 hits for the Sasquatch, and Kwapnoski takes a big hack at that one and fouls it away. That shadow is starting to cover up the entirety of the mound, just the back half still covered in rays of sunlight. And this is about as tough as it'll get for hitters trying to pick up the ball out of the hand of the pitcher, because as it's released, it's in the sun. It goes through that shadow. As Kwapnoski softly lines this one into left center, that'll get down for a base hit. Bo Iandoli eyeing third. He'll take it. So now with 1 out, Sasquatch have him on the corners. And Crew Moeller coming up to the plate. Be interesting to see how the Zap play this one if they pull the infield in a low-scoring game like this one here in the top of the 4th. Zap infield communicating with each other where everybody's going to set up. River Walters delivers, and that one up and in for ball 1. Knocked down by Farwell. Everybody stays put. We'll see if Kwapnoski tries to steal second. If not, you could get out of this jam with a ground ball. He dekes the steal. Swung on and missed on the off speed from Mueller. Walters' fastball has been good today, but his off-speed has been devastating. Keeping the hitters guessing. They haven't really been able to catch up to one yet. Kwapnoski was dancing towards second. Throw over to first is on a hop, and a beautiful play by Ludvigsen to keep that one in between the chalk lines. That throw was buried and just barely got across the threshold of grass into the dirt over at first base. So a nice stop by Ludvigsen keeps the Sasquatch scoreless. That one just a bit inside for ball 2, says Chris Dozark, our home plate umpire. I began to mention earlier on in the ballgame how this field is set up. The third base side gets all the sunlight, and of course that's the visitor's side. 2-1 from Walters. It is popped down the right field line, curling towards the bullpen. Ludvigsen will give chase and watch that one sail out of play. So the count even up at 2 apiece. Runners on first and third here for the Sasquatch in the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 Zap lead, both teams with 3 hits. First real threat of the ball game for Spearfish. Walters with the 2-2. Off the end of the bat, barely got a piece to Crew Moeller.
Our Zap pitchers are really good at getting out of these hold-ups like this.
Yeah, they found themselves in some trouble. That's mainly been due to free passes. First walk of the ball game for Walters came in this inning. They'll check on Kwapnoski again over at first. He's back standing.
We had the coach talking about wanting to see a lot more strikes.
That's right. And partially because he wants to see his pitching staff cut down these Sasquatch hitters. As Kwapnoski fakes the steal again. This one charged down the left field line. Jumping out of the way, and that was Iandoli. That one had some heat behind it.
He looked like Michael Jackson when he did that.
He did, didn't he? Got up onto the tips of his toes as he bended out of the way of that sharply hit foul ball.
Oh, it reminds me of my friend Dylan.
Shout out Dylan. I don't know why it reminds you of him that way, but. So we'll do the 2-2 again. Kwapnoski has deked a couple of steals, acted like he's taken off for second. Now he will for real. This one fouled off again, so Kwapnoski will have to head back to first. Strong crowd again on hand here. General admission about half full. Home side of the ballpark about half full. Not too shabby for a delayed start on a scorcher of a Monday evening. This one rifled to shortstop, gloved by Frazier. Everybody will scamper back to their respective bags. But a nice pitch there from Walters. Good at bat there from Crew Muller. Fouled off a couple two-strike pitches. He was able to square up that one, but right to Frazier at shortstop. And now Walters 1 out away from getting out of this jam. Runner still on first and third. That'll bring up Zach Paro, the Sasquatch first baseman, power-hitting right-handed hitter. And he takes a first pitch ball high and away. Celebrating the Oahe Capitals here at Hyde Stadium tonight. Stark difference from the conditions that they play around. The Capitals, the hockey team here in town. This one grounded to third, played by Melton. He'll fire to second, and River Walters able to get out of the jam. So the Sasquatch pick up another hit. They put runners on first and third, but they leave them stranded there. A nice play by Gavin Frazier for out number 2, and Mason Melton making the nice glove work play over at third for out number 3. Zap still lead 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, looking to pick up some insurance runs after this break. You're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7 and streaming it live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range, beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
Zap coming back up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Been a great game thus far. Great pitching on both ends, but the Zap leading 1-0 after a sacrifice fly in the 2nd inning off the bat of Dom DeCarlo would score the game's only run. Hello, everybody. Justin Cowart alongside Cortana Mancuso here in the broadcast booth at Hyde Stadium, and back in the DRG Media Group new world headquarters is the great Scott Colomb, keeping himself busy. As I'll tell you, we really wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things we do at DRG Media Group without Scott Colomb, as the first pitch into the 3-hole hitter Ty Farwell is called for a strike. Cortana, you've been able to get a look at the new digs over at the radio station, as this one's outside for ball 1. What are your thoughts on the new building?
Oh, it's very, very nice. It's definitely new. It's definitely new. It's got a new feeling to it. It's a little bit eerie when you're in there alone, but other than that, I like it a lot.
Yeah, we're still breaking it in as this breaking ball is fouled off by Farwell. It's been a lot of hard work behind the scenes by our engineering crew of Jim Offerdahl and Scott Colombe, who kind of doubles as board op slash on-air personality, engineer. Chuck Hansen's done a lot of hard work, too, as this one misses outside to Farwell. Count now at 2-2. It is certainly not easy to just pick up and move a radio station, especially when you've got KGFX, River, Eagle, KPLO, KMLO, as Farwell fouls this one off and stays alive. But the crew of Jim Offerdahl, Don Brittenall, Chuck Hansen, Scott Colombe, and a couple others have made it essentially seamless, and certainly made my job easy, and sure do appreciate that. Nobody on, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Zap leading 1-0. Farwell awaits the 2-2. Fouls this one off over the Sasquatch dugout. Pizza Hut setting up an advertising table here, as that foul ball narrowly missed their competitor Domino's, a delivery car driving by. Here's the 2-2 again to Farwell. He ducks out of the way of that fastball. Yeah.
Players had Pizza Hut last night. It was getting cold by the time they got up here, though.
But still delicious as ever, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
They've got
Smelled
some wristbands,
amazing.
some pencils and pens, as Farwell over the top of an off-speed pitch for strike three. So the payoff comes via breaking ball, and Farwell's the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Connor Goldberg. What a pleasant surprise Connor Goldberg has been this summer. Another guy returning for another summer here in Pierre with the Zap. And he has been tearing the cover off the baseball out of that right-handed batter's box. .348 batting average. He's getting on base about half the time that he steps into the box. 23 hits, and he takes a ball high. Austin Elke still out on the mound, pumping for the Squatch. This one off the inside of the bat over towards the first base side, and a sliving catch by Zach Parro is out number 2. That pitch was in on the hands of Connor Goldberg. He was able to go oppo with it. But a nice sliding play there by Zach Parro. We'll bring up Quinn Ludvigsen with 2 outs. Ludvigsen walked his last time up. And he was the Zap to score on the Dom DeCarlo sac fly. First pitch to Ludvigsen in there for strike 1. Zap had an opportunity to take a 2-0 lead. Mason Melton tried to score on a Dylan Bowie pop out to right field, as Quinn Ludvigsen goes the other way with this one through the side of the infield over there to the left. Right by Wilson Kiefer and Crew Moeller. So another 2-out single for the Zap, this time by Quinn Ludvigsen. That'll bring out Mason Melton. Good piece of hitting there from Ludvigsen, a guy who in his position hasn't homered yet. You know that's on his mind because he is a power hitter. He's just a power player. But to be able to sit on that off-speed pitch, drive it the other way, and pick up a 2-out base hit, that's got to make Jamie Habiger smile. So, first pitch to Mason Melton in there for strike 1. So easy for a hitter like Quinn Ludvigsen to really start trying to force that long ball, but getting back to the basics as Melton swings and misses at this one that bounces in the left-handed batter's box, and that'll force Mason Melton to tap himself on the chest and say, yep, that's not a good swing on my end. Taking accountability there, Mason Melton. A couple of fans getting some ice cream cones. That's a great call on a day like today. Making their way back to general admission. Here's the 0-2 up in the zone. Mason Melton lays off. Got one fan who brought his own lawn chair today. Think ice cream's a good call. Bringing your own seating, that's a great call as well. 1-2 from Elke, takes a couple peeks, and this one lifted out towards center. Garrett Houston slowly moves over to his right, and that's out number 3. So the Zap get a 2-out single from Quinn Ludvigsen, but he stays right there at first, and we head to the top of the 5th inning. Zap still leading 1-0 on 4 hits, and it'll be River Walters to come back out onto the bump and continue his outing for the Zap. Well, we looked at the upcoming schedule earlier on in the ballgame. Let's revisit that. Some important games here over the next couple days for the Oahe Zap. It was originally a 3-game series here with the Sasquatch. That has turned to 4. They're making up a game from back towards the end of the month of June. That series that was on June 29th through July 2nd, a makeup being made up tomorrow afternoon, so we'll have 2, not really having the luxury of pushing back the start time of that one. It's going to be a cooker here at Hyde Stadium. Looking ahead at the forecast tomorrow, very similar to today, high of 100, low of 74. And as we look at the temperature at first pitch for game 1 tomorrow, it's going to be right at 100. Feels like temp will probably be at around 104. So it'll be really interesting to see how both of those games unfold and how both managers decide to approach it. Sasquatch have pretty much, all intents and purposes, locked up that 1 seed for the championship series. It would take a mighty push by the Zap and a little bit of help from around the league for Oahe to steal back that opportunity to host the championship series at the end of the month. But it's not locked up yet, and the Zap have to take it 1 game at a time, and they're leading game 1 of this series 1-0. River Walters has been fantastic here this afternoon, looking to keep it going. Really only 1 threat, and that came in the last inning. He was able to get out of it with runners on first and third. And he'll start with a first pitch ball down and in.
I think I've decided that that bat color is a seafoam green.
Okay. We were wondering.
Yeah.
We were curious. What was the original colors? This one misses high for ball 2. Said cyan, is that right?
Yeah.
Walters showing both 4s, as this one's in there for strike 1. Good off-speed pitch. So the count runs to 2-1. Walters delivers outside for ball 3. Again, leadoff walks are a pitcher's enemy. So we'll see if Walters can put one over in the zone, get a swing and a ground ball. Big swing and a miss. As Elijah Wyatt comes up empty on that breaking ball, and the count runs full. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled back into the fencing that reads "Welcome to Hyde Stadium." So Wyatt staying alive. 69 pitches for a 3rd time. And he's back safely again. Certainly in the back of the mind of Casas' Gavin Frazier. He goes to the off-speed for Ely, and he gets him swinging. So it's a three-pitch strikeout for Manny Ely. That'll bring up Ty Farwell. MLB All-Star Game tomorrow.